Evaluation question 6. What have you learned about technologies from the process of constructing this product? So our product was a 2-minute film opening for a thriller, and we basically, over time, we got familiar with the equipment we used and were able to use it with more ease. So here are the products. First one is Canon 650D. The advantage of this is it's capable of filming Full HD 1920 by 1080p, which, if used correctly, you can get TV-worthy images and videos if you make sure your settings are correct and use 3-point lighting. Another advantage is it's very portable, it's lightweight, and you can just put it in your rucksack. You've also got manual focus and autofocus, so if you're not very used to using cameras, you can use the autofocus, but if you're more experienced, the manual focus will benefit you more because you won't get the juttering. So it's great to have the choice of that as opposed to just autofocus as you may have on cheaper cameras. It's also very user friendly, so the settings on there is touchscreen and very easy to get to with the menu. Disadvantages is it's very expensive. These cameras cost around £400, and if you break them they'll be very hard to replace. The memory is very small, so if you plan on filming longer than probably a short film or want to get more takes, you would have to have more than one SD card on you. Another thing is that if you plan on filming, like, say, plan to spend the whole day on filming, you might want to have 2 batteries, which is probably what you would have to do with most cameras, so that's sort of generic. And yeah, that's about it for that. For the filming, we used a light box, which is an LED light box. So you've got small, medium and large of these. For our key light we used the medium one, and for the backlight we used a small light box. And basically they can be adjusted by turning the top here so you adjust how much light you want on the screen and make sure it's not noticeable. In addition, you can add layers such as tints, which I think they're called gums. So this will allow you to get a coloured effect, which you can see in one of our posts on the 3-point lighting. Now, what are the advantages of this? It's portable, very portable, it's lightweight, there's, like I said, there's the various intensity settings and the other filters you can use. It has to be handheld, or actually no, it doesn't have to be handheld. That's one of the advantages. You can put this on a tripod, as there's an attachment, so you can just slide it on the top like you would with a normal camera. It's not very big either, so it's not very intrusive, but it still gives you the same intensity as you would with a large one, as the LED lights are pretty bog standard. And sometimes you can get, if your batteries aren't right, the light will be weaker, but that's just a problem you get with most things if your battery is dying. For editing and production, we used the IMAX, and on the IMAX we used the following. We used this software called Final Cut Pro. So Final Cut Pro is a software by Apple which can be downloaded, which we were actually very lucky to use as it's quite an expensive piece of software. the advantages of Final Cut Pro was it allowed us to edit on a wide scale, and it was very easy to use. Some of the things you could use were titles, overlays. If you had a green screen, you could overlay that. Also, you could trim your video to get it perfect and just cut out all the bad bits. Final Cut Pro also allows you to get fine details, so you can go up to about 20 or you can get up to 60 frames per second, so you can edit that closely, which there's bits that you wouldn't notice, but in film it can be very important. You can also change the audio line for the video and get rid of the audio on the actual video, so you just have the sound going over. Now, the disadvantages of Final Cut Pro is it can be very expensive, like I said, and also if you're not familiar with using an Apple product, it may take time to get used to, but just once you've been told, you'll understand it completely. And it's also it's only available on Apple products, as I believe so far. To upload our videos, we used YouTube, which was very basic. The advantage of YouTube is free to use, and it will also allow you to set your videos to private if you don't want to see it by the public. And you can also have the choice of editing the video on YouTube, but we choose to use Final Cut Pro to do basically all of it, as we have the software to do so. But if not, you could do it all and do some of it on YouTube. Disadvantage of YouTube is you have to have a Google account, or you have to sign up, and that's about it actually. It's a pretty good product. Now, for uploading our posts, we use Blogger. Now, Blogger is something we weren't all familiar with, so it took a while to get used to, but it was pretty simple once we were told how it worked. So basically, this allows us to upload our full foundation portfolio onto a site, and this site is public access, so the examiners can see what we have done and track our progress. And it also allows our teacher to see what we've completed and what we need to complete. So it allows people to share what they've done and also help you do what you've done. So you can have your own personal profile, and what we did is we had group profiles, so we all contributed to that. Is there a disadvantage of Blogger? I don't think there is, because it's actually really good, and if there's a disadvantage, I don't think we'd be using it, apart from the fact you need a Google account, so that may be a disadvantage. Another thing is tripods, which I do not have a picture of, but the tripods allowed us to put a camera in a certain place and not have to hold it, so you can film somewhere and it will have a steady image, as opposed to the shakiness you would get from holding a camera. And a disadvantage of that would be, in some places it can be quite intrusive, as it is quite large, so you'd need quite a bit of space, as the legs will need to extend. The other products which we used were Prezi, which is, we weren't shown how to use this in class, but most of us are familiar with this. So Prezi is basically a PowerPoint app or software which we can use to upload PowerPoints and make them in a professional way online. Now, this disadvantage of this is it took quite a while to get used to, because it's not like PowerPoint. It's in a different format, so you have to play around with it a bit. But apart from that, it's free, which is an advantage, and you can upload it to your blog as you can with YouTube and SlideShare and PowerPoints, and also SoundCloud. So that's another reason why blog is good. And that's basically it. There were some challenges with our video, such as lighting, because we did not have the correct lighting at first, so we were able to redeem ourselves in Final Cut Pro, which was an advantage for that. We did not have enough light boxes, so in our film opening we had sort of just one key light, and there wasn't a backlight like there is now. You just see me as 2D. And that was about it. Yeah. So that's evaluation question 6. Done.